39.4%, with 64% of the vote in. 58.7 to 39.4. What happened in Bartholomew County in 2020 is my question. In 2020, in Bartholomew County,
Stream Elements said, HolyFrey is now live. Streaming SatisFactory. SatisFactory version 1.0, and U.S. election, the 11th of May 2024 HolyFrey, MMO,
Biden had
www,
35.7.
HolyFrey.
So currently, Trump is about 3% behind his 2020 result in Bartholomew County, Indiana, with 2/3 of the vote in there. For all I know, the final third is going to be more favorable for him. So we'll have to see what happens there.
Let's refresh. He's basically leading with 12.
Guys, in just 8 minutes, we have more poll closures.
In what country?
So
Overall or?
overall.
Okay. Yeah, but the cheating hours hasn't started yet.
I hope they don't allow
Hamilton
that to start.
County.
It's
Let's look at Hamilton County.
It
Indiana.
will happen.
Oops, what did I do?
To more closer to
Hamilton
are of winning,
Harris,
to
49.7,
bigger chance
Trump,
chance is it for the
48.6, with 58% of the votes in.
to
That is Hamilton County.
to make a call to the people they have stand by.
Trump won Hamilton County 52.4 to 45.6%. So Trump won Hamilton County by about 7% in 2020. With 58% of the vote in, he is slightly behind in Hamilton County. Now, I don't know if that's going to hold. I assume that's the kind of thing that elections experts might think of a big deal if the county finished that way. But what can I tell you? Maybe when all the votes are in, Trump will be way ahead. So that's certainly interesting, though. Again, Hamilton County, Trump is behind right now by 1%. It's north of Indianapolis here. There's Indianapolis there. Trump won that county by 7% in 2020. And it's such a crazy year. Like, if these are all mail-in and early votes, I don't even know how the day of votes will compare to the early and mail-in votes. I have no idea. Let's talk about another county in Kentucky. Bath County. I don't think we've talked about Bath County. 55% of the vote in there. Trump is ahead by about 39%. Trump is ahead by 39%, 38.7% in Bath County with 68.8%. Now, with about 55% of the vote in. Now, let me go check and see how Bath County was in 2020. Got to look it up here. Bath County, and I got lost. There it is right there. Okay, Trump won by about 43% in 2020, 70.8 to 28. And right now he's at 68.8 to 30.1. So he's slightly behind where he was in 2020 in Bath County.
Yeah. Why can't I?
Really interested in seeing some completed counties, but we're kind of stuck a bit. No county is 70% yet that I see. In 4.5 minutes, we have a number of states closing the polls. Nothing. Oh, here's a county. Let's look at Decatur County. I don't think we've talked about Decatur County, Indiana. Trump is up 76.2% to 22.2% there, with 53% of votes expected votes in. That is Decatur County.
The preview.
I wonder, how did Decatur County do in 2020?
Thingy I have in Restream when I Okay, det
Trump had 77.9%. Biden had 19.9%. So he's about, Harris is about 2% more than Biden. Trump's about 1.5% behind where he was in 2020, with 53% of the vote in. So again, in a number of these rural counties where Trump is winning by a lot, at least so far in a lot of them, he's not winning by as much as he was in 2020. I have absolutely no idea how the rest of the votes are going to come in these counties. None. Beats me. Beats me. Hey, thank you, by the way, to Michelle. I appreciate that, Michelle. And also Paz Mino, Kayla, Renee, Rick D, Wolfie. Thank you. Anybody else I'm missing? 3 minutes until more polls close. 3 minutes. We're about to get a lot more information.
3 minutter til en ny poll.
Lawrence County. None of these are over 50%. Do we talk about Pulaski County? I don't know if we did talk about Pulaski County. Pulaski County, Kentucky. 54% of votes in. Trump has 82% there.
Kentucky, it's only one
Harris has
commune with blue.
I wonder, how did Trump do
with
in
blue
Pulaski
mark
County in 2020? Trump in 2020 had 80.6%. So Trump is running a bit ahead of how he was in Pulaski County, Kentucky. Now, maybe there'll be some pattern where, like in Indiana, maybe Trump does better or worse in Indiana than he does in Kentucky. Don't know. How about Anderson County, Kentucky? About half the vote is in there. Where did it go? Where did it go? Half the vote is in there. Trump 69.3, Harris 28.9. That's Anderson County. Trump got 72.9 there in 2020. Biden got 25.3. So running a few percent behind what he did in 2020 in Anderson County.
Yeah. He lost in
Indiana,
Hamilton.
One of our viewers said we have
Hamilton, he lost with 0.2.
Is it on my map?
48.8 and Kamala 50.
Trump has
Okay, yeah,
77.7% of the vote. Harris has 21. How did Taylor County do? Okay, so Trump had 74.9 and Biden had 23.7. So that is a county where Trump is about 3% ahead of what he did in 2020. And Harris is about 2% behind Biden. Because it's 77 to 21, 77.7 to 21, and it was 74.9 to 23.7. So that's a county where at this point Trump is doing better than he did in 2020. It's a smaller county, but he is beating what he did in 2020 there. Interesting. Oh, 20 seconds until polls close in more states. I think there's going to be some projections made for states. There might be projections of states already. CNN said they're going to make a projection.
It's CNN,
hey, 7 seconds, 6, 5, 4, 3. I bet there'll be some states called. Probably Kentucky and Indiana. Okay, so we have some polls closed. Some polls are closed. I bet some states are going to get called. Polls closed in. How many states? I think it's 6 states. I'll tell you in a second.
New Hampshire.
How many states are polls closed in?
Jeg kommer med noe her nå.
Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vermont, and Virginia. So 6 states. 6 states. by my count.
this race,
Let me
last
just
race,
fix the headline, because if I don't, I'll forget, and it'll be like, why is that
Yeah.
headline all messed up?
I used to
So
walk
give me a
there.
moment. Let me just fix the
It's
headline.
nerve-wracking.
Polls
Wait,
closed
hard
in
for
6
like,
states.
striking my nails and everything.
Next
Oh.
polls close in half an hour. Uh-oh. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I know. If I got to do the headline right when it happens, because if I don't fix it now, it'll look terrible, and I will forget it. Okay, so the next polls close in about 29 minutes.
Yeah.
Update
The
there.
commune or
And I got
county
extra space in here.
so that there are only 6 people living. They have made vote
Okay.
3
Give
for
me a moment.
Kamala
Let me
and
just
3
fix the
for
headline.
Trump.
Thanks for your patience. Oopsie.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, it was on the Norwegian news also.
Ah,
They was there when
Oh, there should be a comment.
they voted.
I hope that works.
Dick's will or something.
Why is there an extra space? Everything's falling apart. I think we're good. Okay. So if we go to our map, okay, Kentucky. Reuters has called Kentucky for Trump and Vermont for Harris. Okay, so Kentucky has been projected for Donald Trump. How many percent of the vote he'll end up having, I don't know. That's not a surprise. But Kentucky is projected for Trump.
Ja, ja,
and,
de har
Vermont is
forutsett nå at
projected for
Kentucky
Harris. Okay, so we have our first two
vunnet av
project-
Trump.
We have our first two projections, Kentucky
Yeah, I'm streaming.
and Vermont. By the way, we got to look here. How about like house races?
Ifølge det
So in
bingekartet
House races,
så har
we have
Trump
37% of the vote in here.
19
Solid
valgmenn.
Democrat. The Democrat is 55%. That's
Harris
important. There's so
3.
many House races.
Ifølge Bing Map.
Lean Democrat, not many votes in there. Solid Republican. What is this race? Florida 4th District. The Florida 4th District is supposed to be a solid Republican race. Maybe that's like mail-in vote or something, but that's one to keep an eye on for right now. It's a solid Republican district, Florida 4th
So
District.
you can see
But
that
the
on
Democrat
the
has
it depends on the
59.1%.
information the map from different
With 35% in.
providers
Well, I know
are
it's
using.
Hang on a moment. Let's see what we got here.
site it says Trump has 92, Harris
Yeah.
The House races.
Yeah, on the
Senate,
Bing side, yeah.
President. Let's go back here. Do we have any completed counties or close to complete in Indiana? No, these haven't really changed that much, I don't think. Anything over 70 here? %. Okay, we have one with 80%. Decatur County has 80% in. Right now, 77.1% Trump, 20.9% Harris. So how did Decatur County, Indiana do in 2020?
Indiana.
They have 80% in right now. Now that could change, but right now Decatur County, it was 77.9 to 19.9. And now it's 77.1 to 20.9. So at least for the moment, Harris is doing a bit better there than Biden did in 2020. All right, you know what I need to do? I need to take 1 minute. I need 1 minute. I just need 1 minute. And then we're going to bring you more live coverage. Give me 1 minute. I will put a thing up on the screen that says, I'll be back in 1 minute. Hang on. Just hang on a second. Oops. Just to go up here. Literally 1 minute. I'm coming back in 1 minute. I just realized something. I don't need my headphones in, so I'm going to take my headphones out. Sometimes when I do that, it pauses for like a second. So if you see the broadcast pause for a second, just give it a moment because my headphones are being taken out right now. I don't need them in. I'm not listening to them. So we might pause for a second. Hang on. Hang on. Give it a moment. Give it a moment. Give it a moment. All right, we're good. We're back. Okay, now, let me also, give me a second, guys. Oh, another, Indiana got called. Hey, they called Indiana. Indiana, 11 electoral votes has been called for Trump. Not a surprise. So you can see over here, Trump has 19 electoral votes. Harris has 3. None of that is surprising right now. Indiana and Kentucky have been called.
No, he
Harris,
did say 19.
Vermont. We'll get into the House race and the Senate races. There's so much to talk about. Just give me a second here to check a couple things. Give me a sec to check a couple things. Okay, a couple of counties came in incomplete, so we'll talk about that in a second. A couple of completed counties. Just give me one moment here. I think they're in Kentucky. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, Johnson County is basically done. Johnson County is almost done. So Johnson County, Kentucky. You can see now. Right now, Trump has 84.7% of the vote, and Harris has 14% of the vote. Right, about 10,000 votes there. That's a small county in Kentucky, and I think Trump did a bit better there than he did in 2020. In 2020, Trump in Johnson County, Kentucky, got 82.9, and Biden got 15.8. So basically, Trump he ran ahead of 2020 in Johnson County, Kentucky by about 2%. Now you might say, well, that's very few votes, but if he did 2% better in every state, that would be good for him. So I don't know how it's going to extrapolate to other states. Now, it says here that he got 8450 votes in 2020, and he got 8150. No, Johnson, I'm sorry. This is weird. I don't know if fewer people voted in Johnson County. Because right now it says that there's 95% vote, more than 95% of the votes in. And the total number of votes there is about 9,500. But in 2020 in Johnson County, there were over 10,000. There were about 10,058 votes. So another whole thing is turnout, right? So this county right now is a little bit below, about 500, 600 votes below the turnout in 2020. So that's a whole other question. Are the counties coming that support one or the other candidate turning out better than they did in 2020? That's a whole other thing to keep in mind. Okay. Any of these counties here quickly in Indiana? Looking for these. Oh, Cass County has 71% of the votes in. Cass County, Indiana. Trump has 72.3. Harris has 26.4. That's Cass County, Indiana. And there's 71% of the votes in. So how did Cass County go? Hang on. 2020. Trying to do some comparisons for you guys. In Cass County, Trump had 69.4 there, and Biden had 28.3. So Trump is about, right now, Trump is about 2-3% ahead of his 2020 showing in Cass County. Okay? So doing a bit better than he did in 2020 in Cass County. Are we seeing votes from other counties for other states, please? Hold on. Starting to see a few votes trickle in South Carolina. Florida. So Florida, I got to check on these. Are these like all early votes, or we have look? So this is like Senate. We somehow ended up with Senate. We got to check the Senate. So you can see Trump. He's expected to win Florida. Right now, he's at 52.2%, and Harris is at 46.8%, with 35% of the vote in. And I don't know what kind of votes these are. I'll have to see if any elections experts are talking about this. So I'll have to check out on that. Again, you know, they could be different types of votes and stuff. Let me see if any of the elections experts I'm following are talking about anything. Let's see. This is interesting. Laksha Jain with split ticket found a county in Indiana, Boone County. Where is Boone County? Let's look at Boone County. Okay, now Boone County has 75% of votes in, and Trump has 54.2% of the votes, and Kamala Harris has 43.7%. That's Boone County, Indiana. 3/4 of the vote in there. Trump winning by about 10.5%. Now, that's north of Indianapolis. Maybe that's Indianapolis suburbs. I'm not sure. Yes, Laksha Jain says it's a suburban area around Indianapolis. So Trump is winning by 10.5% there. Now, what was it in 2020, Boone County? Okay, yes. So Laksha Jain pointed out Trump won Boone County by 18.5% in 2020. So this is a county where it's as Laksha Jain pointed out, this is a suburb of Indianapolis County, where Trump is running behind what he did, because he's up less than 10% right now, and back in 2020 he won this county by 18.5%, and that's 75%. We'll see what happens. How about Hamilton County? 58% in there. Harris is winning. Now Harris is winning. The check mark is for projected winner in the state, I believe. Harris is winning by 1% in Hamilton County, which looks like maybe a suburban Indianapolis county, by 1%. In 2020, Trump won Hamilton County by 7%. So right now in these two counties, which are north of Indianapolis, Trump is running like 7 or 8 points behind what he did in 2020. Now, again, we have a bunch of votes still to count, and maybe it's going to change. So, look, it might, maybe Trump does better in rural counties, but worse in suburban counties. I don't know. You know, I can't tell you. But those are two counties where he's doing worse in the suburbs of Indianapolis, it looks like, than he did in 2020 so far. So something to keep an eye on. Oh, now there's like so much data out there. Oh my gosh. We're gonna be overwhelmed with things to look at. Let's go back to this. How about South Carolina, or Georgia? Any kind of count? Okay. Hey, look. Let's look at a county in Georgia, McDuffie County. 68% of the votes in. Trump, 67.1%. Harris, 32.6%. How did this county go in 2020? It was Trump 59. So this is a county where Trump is doing a better than he did. That's
What?
That's McDuffie County. Trump won McDuffie County by 19 points in 2020, and right now he's leading McDuffie County by, 25 points. I don't know, guys. I mean, some counties Trump's doing better than he did in 2020, and some counties he's doing worse in 2020. I don't know what to tell you. Let me also check. I'm following some elections analysts and see what they have to say. Robert Marjoram, our viewer, thinks it's too close to call. Let's look at Georgia again. Let's look at some more of these Georgia counties. Heard County, 68% in. Trump has 85.5% there.
I Georgia så var det en del blod.
Right. Heard County, 2/3 in. Now let's see how Heard County went in 2020. In 2020, Trump had 83.8%. So he's about, 1.7 points better than he did in 2020 there right now. Gordon County, 71% in. Trump has 81.3%. Back in 2020, he had 80.7%. So slightly better there. Union County, 84% in Georgia. Trump has 80.3% there. He had 81.3% in 2020, a little worse there than 2020. Stevens County, Georgia, that's only 5% in, though. I'm not going to worry about that. We talked about McDuffie County. Greene County, Georgia, Trump has 66.9%. Did we talk about this? Because Greene is 87% in. 87% of the votes are in. Trump has 66.9% there. He had 62.8%. So Trump in Greene County is running about 4% ahead of what he did in 2020. Interesting. Talked about McDuffie. Burke, not many voters. Very few. Oh, Rockdale County. How about Rockdale? That looks like a suburban county, doesn't it, Rockdale? Kamala Harris, 75.6. Trump, 24, with 3/4 of the vote in. Now, how did Rockdale do? What was Rockdale outside Atlanta in 2020? If I can find it. It was 69-9 to 29-1. 69-9 to 29-1. So right now, Harris is beating Biden in Rockdale County outside of Atlanta by about 6.5%. That looks like suburban to me just by eyeballing it. This is the Reuters election map. I mean, are we seeing a thing? Are we seeing a thing where Trump does better than he did in the rural counties, but Harris outperforms Biden in the suburban counties? I don't know. I'm just pointing out these are some of the things we're seeing, initially. Hey, how about Brantley County, Georgia? Down here, 71% of the vote in.
Georgia
91.3%
is
of the vote in
looking
How many did he
red
have
at the moment, but it's a lot of
he had 90.2%
county that are not
in 2020 there. I mean, not you can only do not much up. You can go from 90.2, but he's at 91.3. Camden County, 80% of the votes in there. Trump has 67.5. He had 64.3 in 2020. So a number of the rural counties in Georgia, it looks like he's doing a bit better than he did in 2020. Trump. Did we talk about Douglas County? This looks like maybe a suburban county. I'm not sure. Douglas County. Harris has 65.9%. Trump has 33.6. About 3/4 of the vote in there. Douglas County. Now again, I don't know what the rest of the vote's going to be like there. Biden had 61.9% and Trump had 36.8. So Biden won Douglas County by about 25 points. Right now, Harris is leading Douglas County by 32 points. So she's about 5% ahead of what Biden did, you know, and Trump is about a few percent behind what he did in 2020. So we'll have to see when all the votes are in these counties, does that hold? It's interesting to see that. So we were just looking at Georgia. We haven't even looked at Florida. How about these counties? Okay, let's look at some counties in Florida. 73% in Citrus County, 3/4 of the vote in there. Trump has 70% of the vote. In Citrus County, Florida, in 2020, Trump had, I gotta find it here. He had 70.1% in 2020, and as of right now, he has 70.1%. Exact same thing. How about any other counties here? Putnam County, Florida, 58%. Trump has 72.6% right now, and in 2020 he had 70.1%. He's doing slightly better there. Lafayette County, Florida, Trump has...
Have you started using the
88.7% of the vote with 60% of the vote
wireless thingy now?
He had 85.5% in 2020, and now he has 88.7. So a couple more of these counties in Florida where there looks like maybe smaller counties where he's doing a bit better than he did in 2020 so far. St. Johns County, Florida, up here. Trump 64, Harris 35.3. St. Johns County with 80% in. Trump had 62.8 and Biden had 36.2 in. So Trump is running like 1.2% ahead in St. Johns County, Florida, to where he ran in 2020. Duval County, Florida, where Jacksonville is. And look, there could be a big breakdown here between the votes in so far and the votes that haven't been counted yet. So this could really change. Right now, Harris has 49.6% there to Trump's 49.4%. Biden won Duval County by 3.8%. Now, maybe they haven't counted the in-person vote or they haven't counted the mail-in vote. I don't know. But right now, Harris is behind where Biden was in Duval County, Florida. All right, so let's keep jumping around here. So some North states at 7:30. Polls close at 7:30 in North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia. Okay? North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia in 5 minutes. Let me check what some elections analysts are saying.
Need to have a look at the EV2, what they are.
Okay, let's go back to Florida. I just saw this. Miami-Dade County right now is 55 Trump to 44.4 Harris, with 70% of the vote counted. I don't know how the rest of the final 30% will go. But just so you know, Miami-Dade County was blue.
It's closing.
Biden won Miami-Dade
Some
County by
other
7.3%.
voting places are closing
Biden
in
won
4.5
Miami-Dade
minutes
County
now.
by 7.3%. Trump is winning Miami-Dade County by 11%. Maybe Florida's gotten more red. We'll see how that goes. All right, let me see. How about Virginia? We haven't looked at Virginia yet. I'm looking for states with a big percentage of the vote in. Nah, these are small. I don't want to really get hung up on We don't, even Richmond County, I don't know where these votes are coming from. Even if it says like half in, it might all be early or something like that. We'll go back to Virginia, right? We'll go back to Virginia. Some votes are in New Hampshire. Any of these counties in New Hampshire? Okay, hey, Milton, New Hampshire. Let's look at Milton, New Hampshire. Almost all the votes counted there. Trump has 60.7%. Harris has 37.6%. This is a small county in New Hampshire. Let's see how Harris did and Trump did in New Hampshire, or no, how Biden and Trump did in 2020 in Milton, New Hampshire. Hold on, I need to zoom in here. Give me one moment. Where is it? It's north of Portsmouth. Here, give me a moment here. I gotta zoom in. I gotta zoom into New Hampshire to do this comparison. That's better.
Okay, so Trump won Indiana, Kentucky.
Milton, 58.1 to 40. Okay, so that's helpful. All right, let me tell you about that one. 58.1 to 40. So Milton is a smaller county in New Hampshire, where Trump is doing about 2.5% better than Trump did in 2020, and Harris is doing like 2.5% worse. And that county is basically done. So Trump got 58.1% there in 2020. He has 60.7% there in 2024. A smaller county in New Hampshire. Any of these other counties? Looking for. I'm just like, I don't want to read into Concord, New Hampshire, because I don't know what. There's 2/3 of the vote left, and I don't know what that vote is. Hey, Lee, New Hampshire. Lee, New Hampshire, 94% of the vote in. Trump has 64.7% there. In Lee, New Hampshire. Where was that? Over here? I don't even remember where it was. I can't even find it anymore. Oh, in 30 seconds, we got more polls closing. More polls closing. Where's Lee? I can't find it anymore. Oh, Lee, New Hampshire. I'm sorry. Harris has 64.7% in Lee, New Hampshire. Some more polls are closing in 10 seconds. There's Lee, New Hampshire. Harris, 64.7%. How did Harris do there in 2020? As some more polls are closing now. More polls, 3 more states polls closing right now, and I'll fix the headline in a second. Let me just check out what happened with Lee, New Hampshire, if I can. I hate this. It's so frustrating. Hold on. Hang on. I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to get you the information about Lee, New Hampshire.
Og det mange røde i Virginia også.
65-8 to 32-6. So Biden had 65-8 and Harris had 64-6.
In Virginia, so there is a lot of red, but the tree,
he did in 2020.
the three
more states closed.
counties that are blue, they are over the.
I don't know what to tell you right now.
It's 58.3%
some more states polls have closed. West Virginia has been called for Trump. Not a surprise. So West Virginia has been called for Trump. We'll talk about the Senate and the House races too. West Virginia.
But at the moment it's 58 Kamala and 40.
And polls are now closed. In what is it? 9 states, I think. Yeah, they just closed in North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia. Okay, so let me just fix the headline. Let me just fix the headline. Hang on, everyone. I don't know what's going on. I got to check what the elections analysts I'm following are saying about this. Okay. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, next polls close in 27 minutes. In 27 minutes, we have Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, D.C., Florida, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Tennessee. Bunch of states will close in 27 minutes. Oh my gosh, it's crazy here. It's crazy. Doing my best to bring you updates. Let me just check some stuff here.
The valgmän där, det doesn't count if
we have a Senate seat
Kamala
projection, which is not
is
surprising.
taking the VIP state.
Hold on, let me show you the Senate here.
So it's
Jim Justice.
it's really
It's a flip because, and this was expected,
exciting at the moment.
because Joe Manchin was a Democrat and he was in West Virginia, right? And but he's not running. And Jim Justice is projected as the winner there. That's projected. And then Jim Banks projected to win the Senate seat in Indiana, which is not a surprise. So, hang on one second, please. Okay.
$8 miljoner stämmer i Florida is counted.
I saw a couple analysts talk about Anna Paulina Luna in Florida. Florida 13, which is a House race, saying that she's expected to hold on. Florida 13, Anna Paulina Luna. You can see there, this was seen as lean Republican House race in Florida, Florida 13, with 77% of the votes counted. She has a 7.7% lead, and I am seeing some analysts say that they think she is going to win this race. Anna Paulina Luna in Florida 13. Competitive race. These are so little vote is in these races. 4%, 4%, 2%. Not much voting. There's this weird race in Florida. Florida 2. Yen Bailey is up by 2%, but only 37% of the vote in. So it's solid Republican. Maybe it's mail vote or something. We'll keep an eye on this. But you can see they have it arranged. They have the House seats arranged by competitive, lean Republican, solid Republican, lean Democrat, solid Democrat. So as more votes come in, we'll see if any of these races are upsets, these House races, and how the competitive ones do. But just not in the competitive ones, not a lot of vote in right now with those races. All right.
Just hope that there is no cheating in the VIP state then.
Oh, Nathaniel Rakich reports that there's an amendment in Florida, the abortion rights amendment. It's 60% to pass, and it's at 5941. Is that even on this? Is that even on this map? Florida. Do they have the questions here? No. I just want to give you a quick update on that. That is a Florida amendment on that would to overturn the 6-week abortion ban in Florida. And hold on, I don't know what else would do. It's an abortion rights amendment. Well, without getting into the specifics, right now, according according to, I don't want to get hung up on it. According to Nathaniel Rakic, it's at 59-41, but it would need 60% to pass. Okay, let's get back to the presidential race. Let's get back to that. We must be seeing some more counties getting near complete here. A lot of these are still not that high. Park County, Indiana, 81% in. Trump has 77.2%. How did he do back in 2020? That's Park County, Indiana, not Indianapolis. Park County, Indiana. He had 77%. Right now he has 77.2%. Yeah, we'll be talking about the other races, but I'm trying to give you a feeling for what's going on in some of these races. We talk about Anderson County, Kentucky. That's pretty much done. Trump has 73% there, 73.5%. And back in 2020, he got 72.9%. So he's running slightly better there. Spencer County, Trump has 77.6%. That race is basically, in that county, that vote is basically counted. He has 77.6% there, Trump. And he had 76.4% there in 2020. So some of these rural counties, smaller counties, I guess, I assume they're rural in Kentucky, he's doing a bit better than he did in 2020. There's a lot of votes left out in these counties like Jefferson County, Frankfort County. They're not close to being done. Wayne County, Trump has 81.8%. With about 80% of the vote in, and he had 80.4%. So in a lot of these smaller counties in Kentucky that are close to done or done, looks like Trump's running like 1% or so better, or more better than he did in 2020. Knox County, 84% counted. He has 84.2% there, and he had 83% in 2020. Leslie County, it's complete. Trump has 89.7% there in Leslie County, Kentucky. And in 2020, he had 89.8%. So that's a county where he did basically the same as 2020. Knott County, he has 78.7%, 88% of the vote counted. That's Knott County. In 2020, he had 76.5%. So for whatever it's worth, in a lot of these smaller counties in Kentucky, it seems like Trump's running like a point or more ahead of where he did in 2020. And a lot of those counties are almost completed. But I'm looking to some experts to see what they're saying about all of this. So give me a moment here. Let's see if I can get you any more insight on what's going on. Give me a moment. Okay, Jonathan Martin, who is with Politico, he says the pattern so far is that Trump is doing better in the rurals and Harris doing stronger in the suburbs. Harrison Lavelle, who's an election analyst, says in Fairfax County, where is this? Is that Virginia? Harris has similar numbers to Biden. Jonathan Martin mentions Chesterfield County and suburban Richmond, Virginia. So that's Chesterfield County, right? There's Richmond, and there's Chesterfield County. So you can see Harris has 48%, Trump has 49.9%. Now, only 17% of the votes are in, so I don't know where that's going to go. But if you look back in 2020 there, in Chesterfield County, Virginia, actually, I don't... See, right now it says Biden had 52.4% in Chesterfield County. Harris has 48%, so she's behind. And maybe I'm looking at different numbers than Jonathan Martin. But maybe, you know what, but the problem is I don't know where the votes are coming from.
Ser ut som
Whether they're early and
Virginia vil
maybe
bli
at this
blått.
point Biden had fewer votes than her. I don't know.
Virginia vil sannsynligvis bli
A lot
blått.
of votes in. It's so hard because you can't just, if there's like 50% of the vote in a county, for all you know, you can't just you can't look at the county in 2020 yet because the rest of the vote might be very different. So I'm trying to find counties that are almost done to give you a better sense. Or, sometimes analysts
North Carolina is getting to be blue, I see.
Insight into that.
We have those different time.
Yeah. I like them.
Yeah, so I would definitely seems like we've seen some counties so far that are more rural counties that Trump has outpaced his performance of it in 2020. What can I say? We have Ohio, some counties there. 46%, 41%. Brendan Keefe, who's with Atlanta News First, says we expect a huge increase in reporting in Georgia around 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Patrick Flynn with Focal Data HQ thinks Trump is going to win Florida by 9%. Now, Florida, how much did he win Florida by in, right now Florida is, sorry, I'll show you here. 70% of votes counted in Florida. Trump is up by 9% in Florida right now. 9% with 70% of the votes counted. I assume that'll be called soon. Maybe some places have called it. But back in 2020, Trump won Florida by 4.3%. Trump won Florida by 4.3%. No, I'm sorry, less. Trump won Florida by 3.3%. He won Florida 51.2 to 47.9. So Trump is doing significantly better in Florida than he did in 2020. Florida looks as of right now. I don't know if that's going to change.
Florida is getting to be
but that
blue.
looks significantly better for Florida in Trump in Florida than in 2020. Also, the Senate race in Florida. Let me show you that.
North Carolina,
Rick Scott is up
there
by,
is a
by
lot of blue.
10.3%. Republican Rick Scott is leading with 2/3 of the votes in there. I can't tell you what the rest of the votes are going to look like, though, there. I don't know what the outstanding votes are like. I can actually tell you where they're from, but I don't know if they're mail-in or whatever. Vote count status Florida. A lot of votes out in Palm Beach County. A lot of votes out in Palm Beach County, and the Democrat is ahead there, but with very few votes in. Oh, are they like not counted at all? What with Palm? Hold on. So Palm Beach County. Hang on a second here. Have they just like not counted there? Oh no, 862. Sorry, that was wrong. They've counted there. Why was it showing me that many votes outstanding in Palm Beach County? Was it another county? Broward County, 334,000 left to count. Palm Beach County, 162,000.
So Florida have 30
I was just looking
electoral
at the
votes
for a second and seeing how many votes were outstanding there.
and
Why does it say Palm Beach? Yeah, this is really
North
weird. It says Palm
Carolina
Beach
have
County
only
for the
16.
Senate
So
race. Well, it's confusing. It's like the numbers are different for the Senate race and the there's only 400 votes in the Senate race in there. I'm confused about that. Anyways, I'm not going to worry about that right now. All right, take a breath. Take a breath. Too much information.
Jag må pusta lite. Ser någon...
We don't know what's going to happen yet. We do not know what's going to happen.
On Twitch.
I think I'm confident in saying we don't know what's going to happen with the presidential race. Oh, let's go back and look at those suburban counties in Indiana we looked at before. Let's do that. Okay. So there were a couple of counties north of Indianapolis, Hamilton County and Boone County. Hamilton, Trump is up by 0.6%. Boone County, Trump is up by 10.5%. With 75% of the vote in and 62% of the vote in. Now, how did those go in 2020?
Trank Sinatra said, counts in Milwaukee took
In
place in
2020,
unsecured conditions.
Trump
Looks
won
like Democrats
Hamilton
scam
County
again.
by
Oh.
about 7%, and right now he is up by 0.5%.
Someone told
there's
me
38% of
on
the
my
votes still
stream
outstanding.
that
Boone County, Trump
Milwaukee.
in Boone County,
Trank Sinatra said,
Took a
Trump
place
won
in-
Boone County
tweeted
by
this.
about 18.5%.
the votes in
2020, and right now in Boone
Milwaukee
County,
was
he is up
unsecure-
by 10.5%. So,
unsecure
so
condition.
interesting to see if those margins hold. Those
So
are two
it
counties
looks
where
like
Harris is
Democrat
doing better than Biden.
maybe a scam again or
There's
cheating
this
or
question of,
something.
is Harris going to outperform
Laura,
what Biden did in the suburbs?
Laura Trump tweeted this.
I do not know. I do not know.
Laura Trump, isn't that wasn't that is it a daughter to Trump, or who was that again? I don't remember. So Milwaukee, what
The overall
state
vote right
is
now,
that?
Which is, I mean, again, this is going to, it's very, right now we have not that many votes in. Trump with 54.9% and Harris with 44%. That's going
Milwaukee.
to just change over time. There's all these states that have to report, and even within states.
Where is
So,
Milwaukee?
I'm not too focused on the overall vote right now. We're so early. On 11 minutes,
I
more, a
don't
bunch
remember
more states
where
close in 11 minutes.
it is.
A bunch more states close in 11 minutes. Our viewer Erroneous says still in line in Hamilton County. I don't know what state, with 200 people behind him. All right, so I'm trying. Obviously, there's all these different numbers floating around. I'm just trying to get you things that I think are important and
Trank
might help us
Sinatra
figure
said,
out what's going on,
Wisconsin.
especially counties where maybe they've
Wisconsin.
counted most or all of the votes. There's not that many of
Wisconsin,
those yet.
is it in?
A lot of these North Carolina counties
Wisconsin,
have very few votes.
Wisconsin,
So
there
far.
it
I'm
is.
seeing 2% in, 4%
Wisconsin
in,
have
0% in.
10
Very early in North Carolina, so I'm going to go away from that right now.
as a 10
What else
electoral
haven't we
votes.
looked? We talked
There-
about
there is
Florida a
no
bunch.
result
Florida
there
looks
yet,
like it's
and that's,
going more to Trump
because
than it did in 2020. How about South
Unsecure
Carolina?
condition, yeah.
Any
Trank
counties in
Sinatra said
Colorado?
they had
These
to
are
start
very
counting
low
again.
reporting numbers here.
Oh,
0.
Ah.
What is it, 50?
yeah,
Let's look at that.
Wisconsin had to start counting again. They had to
Lawrence
start
County, South Carolina, half the voting.
counting
Trank
every
Sinatra
vote
said, maybe to get
again.
the result they want.
Let's see. what
Maybe
happened-
to get the,
what happened
maybe
in 2020.
they're starting the counting again, maybe to get the result they want, yeah.
In 2020, Trump had 65.6%.
Yeah,
Right now, he's at 68.
but is Wisconsin, is that
We haven't seen
let's see.
like counties with a lot of counties with cities, bigger urban counties. You know, with all the vote counted or most of the vote
in
counted.
Wisconsin, it's strange there, because in Wisconsin they need
Certainly we've seen a number of
photo
smaller
ID
counties
to
or
they need
more
to
non-urban counties
to use
where Trump is outpacing what he did in 2020.
legitimate identification to vote there,
Okay.
but that doesn't matter if the place is
Ohio?
unsecure.
Any of these
If it
counties
is
a lot
easy
counted?
to
Defiance County, Ohio.
to go around the
Trump,
guard and all
64%
that.
with 53% of the vote in. How did he do in 2020 there in Defiance County, Ohio? He had 67.3. So Trump had 67.3.
So we see, need to
right
count
now he has
again, yeah, maybe
64,
to get
but
the
that's only
result
about half
they
the vote.
want.
Hocking County, Ohio. Trump, 55% of the vote in. Trump has 66.2%, and then in 2020 he had, let's see, 70.4. So that's interesting. That's a couple counties in Ohio that Trump is winning, but he's running a bit behind what he did in 2020. But we don't have all the votes in those counties. We're only about half the vote in those counties. So we'll check. We'll have to check back in there. How about Pike? I mean, again, Pike County here. 59% of votes in. Trump at 71.7%. But he had 73.8% there in 2020. So I'll be interested to see if when these counties that we just looked at in Ohio, when they count more, will Trump still be behind what he did in 2020 or will he catch up? Warren County, 52% of the vote in, Trump at 61.3%. In 2020, he had 64.6%. So that's just 4 counties in Ohio that he's winning, but he's a bit behind what he was in 2020. But a lot of the votes still out in those counties. Yeah, I'm not really focused on total votes. Yeah, so Harris is winning in North Carolina by 34%, but only 3% of the vote is in, and it's not a representative sampling. Like at this point, this is kind of meaningless right now, the totals from the state, because it's so little to vote. It's not coming in evenly. It's from different parts of the state. It's from certain parts of the state more than others. It's from certain types of voting more than others. So you can't extrapolate from this. You need to know where those votes are coming from. Are they from Republican counties, Democratic counties? Early votes, mail-in votes, day of votes. So that's why I keep checking on some analysts I follow who have that kind of information. Okay, I just saw something from an analyst here. Hold on a second here. From Cook Political, Matthew Klein from Cook Political says, Harris is winning Loudoun County, Virginia by 17 points, but Biden won it by 25 points in 2020. He said it's the kind of place you'd expect her to perform better, concerning side there for Democrats. That's in Virginia. She said Loudoun County, Virginia. I'm sorry. Let me show you that. Matthew Klein. Loudoun County, Virginia. Outside of D.C. Yes, so you can see Loudoun County right there. I'm sorry. That's outside of Alexandria. There's Fairfax County, Loudoun County. Harris, with almost all the votes counted, she is up by 16.3%. But in 2020, Biden won that by 25%. So that's a big difference. Biden won Loudoun County by 25%. Harris is winning it by 16%. So that's a big... She's way behind where Biden was in that county. Hang on one second here. That's interesting. Where else in Virginia? That's almost all counted. That's interesting. Anything else almost all counted there? Because that's a county where most of the votes are in. How about Surrey County?
55
Surrey County, Virginia.
versus 40.
I just had it. 82% of the votes, and that's a small county. Trump has 52%. Harris has about 47%. Surrey County, right there. In 2020, Biden won that. Biden won Surrey County by 8%. And Trump is winning it by 6%. So that's another county in Virginia. That's a county in Virginia. You're look at the county. Surrey County, Virginia, right? 82% of the vote in. Trump is winning by 5% there. Biden won Surrey County by 8%. So it looks like you have some counties that are doing much better for Trump in Virginia than they did in 2020. And these are counties where a lot of the votes have been counted. Interesting. Now, Virginia, back in 2020, Virginia, Biden won Virginia with 54% and Trump had 44%. So Trump would probably have to run about 5% ahead of what he did in Virginia to win Virginia. Now, if Trump wins Virginia, it seems like at that point, then it's going to be a very Trump election if he wins Virginia. But those are not encouraging numbers there, from those two counties at least that I just told you about. And those counties have a lot of the vote in. Interesting. Interesting.
Florida, 54%. It's still leading in Florida.
Yeah, Loudoun County is a suburb in Virginia. And again, she's underperforming Biden there by like 8%. That's a bad sign for her. I agree with some analysts who are talking about that. Elections Daily analyst Joe Szymanski says the Loudoun County result where in Virginia, a suburban county in Virginia, Loudoun County, which is basically all counted. And Harris is behind Biden by like 8%, behind what Biden did. Joe Szymanski says this would be the result that would have the most alarm bells ringing for me if I were in the Harris camp so far. I mean, so, look, I don't know what's going to happen. And I remember in 2020, there was a bunch of really good early news for Trump. Right now, I think that the news has been better for Trump than for Harris so far. I don't know what's going to happen. Looks like maybe Virginia could be in play for Trump, given the numbers we've seen so far. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Also, you know, Trump is running. He was expected to win Florida, but he's expected to do better there than he did in 2020. But, you know, obviously very bad for Harris if she loses Virginia. So we'll have to see, though, because I do remember in 2020 there was a lot of early good news for Trump. But that's a county. I mean, look, that's a county that's done. Loudoun County is done. That's a county that Biden won by 25%, and Harris is winning it by 16%. So that's a bad sign. And that's not a county where they haven't counted the votes. That's basically all the votes counted. Oh, I'm sorry. I just messed up because I didn't tell you some more polls have
refreshed,
some more polls have closed.
Refreshed prediction. Harris 31 and Trump 56.
So I'm gonna just say next polls close, and I'm gonna say results coming in. Next polls close.
Yeah.
Do some polls close at 8:30? Hold on. Let me just change the headline.
No
There's going to be
problem.
more states called too.
I'm clicking every
Just give me
time
a
I
moment.
go
I
and
need a
check.
moment. I need 2 seconds. I just need 2 seconds. Sorry. Arkansas closes at 8:30. At 8:30. Arkansas closes at 8:30. All right. So let me change this right here really quick.
There, it got updated again, the prediction. No, no. True. I know. Even one more time.
That's done.
Trump have
And
95
results
now.
coming in. Next, I'm going to change this to results coming in. Next polls close in whatever.
Check the
But look at the Texas. They can still win Texas
Oops, let me
because
just do
it's
this.
only
Let me just fix
only
this.
two
Position here. Thanks for your patience.
two and
I
one
fixed the
small
position of the clock.
state that is a commune that is counted.
So some worrying
So
news
Texas
for
is
Harris
still
and Virginia.
up for grabs.
I'm checking
Some more projections coming in.
like you said.
Nothing surprising so far. Florida has
Texas
been called
is,
for Trump as expected. Alabama for Trump
All
as
of the
expected.
commune
Tennessee
is
for Trump
not
as expected.
counted yet.
Maryland for Harris as expected. Massachusetts for Harris as expected.
Kamala Harris.
Oklahoma for Trump as expected.
Yeah,
Missouri for Trump as
51.4.
expected. Indiana, Kentucky,
not-
Virginia, Tennessee.
Versus 46.
Electoral votes. Again, nothing has been
Not
90 to
on Bing.
27, but there's been
On the tabel.
no battleground states have been called yet, and no
Okay.
flips. No states have gone somewhere where they weren't thought to have,
I think they updated
where they weren't predicted to go yet.
on pair, like
So
next to each other.
that's what we're looking at is
Ah.
when do we get a battleground state, or will there be a state that goes
Okay.
away that it wasn't supposed to go? Everything so far called is state-wise is something that was supposed to go that way. And I've seen some other calls being made, but I'll wait until Reuters calls them. I'm not too concerned with calls of things that we thought, calls where we're hearing what we thought was going to happen. I'm trying to bring you news about, stuff that happens where it's like, wow, that's showing us something different. It's giving us some information about what might be coming.
In the same map that he is using, it's
Nathaniel Rakich, who is with
Trump 90 and Harris 27.
Nathaniel Rakich is with 538. He says kind of a confusing.
But it
Georgia
was
results
very
pattern so
close
far. Some counties are
last
bluer,
time
some
also,
are
but
redder. Presumably
suddenly,
this is because
the
some
middle
are
of the
reporting
night,
early votes
poof!
and some are reporting election day
Biden
votes. Still a long way to go.
But if you see on the VIP state like
Just give me one.
Pennsylvania, there are 19 electoral votes only in Pennsylvania. And in, let me see the other VIP state, there was that Nevada or Arizona. Yeah, here in California,
What's going on?
you have 54 electoral votes. So California must be one of the big deep states because there are 54.
It's also California. I don't know if you have heard it. One of those counties that has.
Oh wow, guys! I just saw something about Loudoun County. Virginia.
Yeah, but
Wow.
I
just
also
saw
see
something.
that the
Well,
California
I don't
is
know
the
what
one
this
of
account
the.
is. There's a report.
Let me see here.
There's a report
Yeah.
that Loudon County
California
might actually
is
not
one
be
of
in as
the
much as people thought it
state
was.
that you
So
can
we were telling you, I
vote
saw another
without
analyst say, look at
ID,
Loudoun
personal
County,
ID, and everything.
Biden won that by 25%.
You
Harris
can
is only
vote
winning
in
with like
California,
60%. It's
whoever
pretty much all counted.
there,
Well,
so
now I'm
all
seeing
the
a report
immigrants
that
can go
actually
and vote there.
Maybe it is not counted.
I wonder what.
But
Kamala, because the Democrats
so
have
this
said
Nick Field from
officially
Decision
that
Desk HQ
if
posted
they
somebody
vote
else's
for the
report
Democrat,
about
they
Loudoun
will
County.
get the
So
jobs
that bad
and
news
houses.
from Loudoun County for Harris.
So
Hang on a moment.
it's so
Because
stupid.
it might not be as bad for Harris as was thought if the count has not actually, it's not as far as it was thought it was. So we need to be careful there with Loudoun County because there's an unconfirmed report that the data is not correct. So
Did you hear that?
let's see. We'll have to see. It's pretty important.
He have
That is pretty important.
gotten message of that the data is not correct from one of the
All
states.
right, I'll let you know, guys. I'll let you know about that, but that's very important. I'll let you
so-
know if I hear more
so
about that. What can I tell you?
If I
possible,
bet if Trump leads there, then they
I have some
they
exit polls
counting
from,
again. Oh,
Pennsylvania
it's coming
with
out.
NBC
Okay.
News. Alan Smith with NBC News has some exit polling from Pennsylvania. Okay, so
Don't you
according
have
to Alan Smith with NBC News,
the free
Harris,
Yeah, but
Alan Smith of NBC News says
tablet.
exit
okay.
polling says that women made up 53% of the vote
okay.
in Pennsylvania, and men made up 47% of the vote. It said that Trump is winning men by 14%, and Harris is winning women by 12%. I mean, we don't know if these exit polls actually ultimately are right.
Oh my God! In Oklahoma, there is not
So that's one thing.
one single fylke
We'll have to
that
see what
is
happens
blue.
with
It would be
Pennsylvania.
cool if every fylke is going
I
to
think
be
that's going to be a pattern you see around the
be
country.
red.
Usually women vote about 53% of the electorate. Women are
Beautiful.
supposed to go for Harris more, and
like, having a
men
lamb
is
as
believed will go for Trump more.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't even. So you might say, Steve, tell us something. What part of what I'm trying to do is because there's so much data here. I'm kind of looking at some different experts, and I'm trying to get a feel for what the most important things to talk about are by looking at what some elections experts are saying, because there's so much data.
Yep, I agree. So much data.
Matthew Klein with
Oh,
Cook Political
Texas has
Report
started
says,
to get red
Hillary Clinton won
Texas now.
Palm Beach County, Florida by 17 points in 2016, and now Kamala Harris is barely winning it. He says Florida is gone for Democrats. Yeah, Florida
no,
right now,
no,
the vote right now
Trump
in
is
Florida, with
leading in
79% of the vote
Texas.
in. Guys, look at this. Trump is winning Florida. Now, there's more votes to come in, but Trump is winning Florida by a lot right now. He's winning by 11.5%. Trump won Florida in 2020
they are saying,
by what, like 3.5%
saying
or something like
Trump
that.
is winning in
So
Florida
Florida
now.
looks definitely more red this time. Trump won Florida by 3.3%. Now I don't know how it's going to end up, but
Yeah, Florida
looks
is
like,
more red this
it
time.
looks like
yeah.
Florida's going more red.
It's only
Okay.
one county
Can
that
we
is
look at,
not
let's just look at some of these states here.
not
Let's see if we can
finished.
find some counties that are almost done, maybe, or something like that. Try to get you some. It's so hard until we get some more votes in some of these counties. Here's a county that's almost done: Wythe County. Wythe County in Virginia. 79.4% Trump. How did Wythe County, Virginia do in 2020? .8%. That's another smaller county where Trump has done a bit better. We've seen a lot of these smaller counties where Trump does a bit better. I presume a rural county where Trump does a bit better than he did in 2020. We've seen a bunch of that happening so far. Roanoke City, only 44% of the vote. I don't know how that's going to go. Right now, Harris has 64.7%. Biden had 61.8%. So she's doing better, but don't know what the other half of votes are going to be like here.
No, they have starting to publish a thing in Pennsylvania.
Do we get any more of these?
Yeah.
Indiana
Very strange.
How about Boone
Camilla,
County? Boone County is outside of Indianapolis. 89%
is that
in Boone County.
is that possible?
Trump is winning by, I think his lead has gone up. Trump is winning by 12.5% in Boone
But
County.
it is only 1, 2, 3, 4
He won Boone County
for
by 18.5%.
fylke kommune.
So he's still about 6% behind what he was doing in 2020.
Counties that
But
are
it looks like he's doing better.
finished. But
Noble County.
and that's so strange because you see if you click on Pennsylvania, click on the red one there, you can see Trump around 55%, and camera 43, and all the others,
75.3%.
it's like the one closest to Washington there, Allegheny.
76.6% for Trump.
There you have that 72%
Another rural county
in that city. Washington is 55.
Counties so far.
Lynch is so there is a county that is only Democrat that lives there.
It sounds too good to be true, if you know what I mean. Right.
Must be well, they can actually check that up because they usually they know how many people that are living in that area. So if double the amount of people that have voted that are living there, then it must be something wrong.
We also have Hawaii and Alaska.
Yeah.
Connor Sen, who I follow, who is a columnist for Bloomberg Opinion, he says he keeps looking for completed counties,
Yeah.
which
And
I think isn't a bad idea. You know,
and here now another county has
I don't know like what's,
Clinton
Fulton
in
County,
Pennsylvania
with Atlanta
has
in
been
it, is only half
Trump,
in, and I don't know
Trump
what the next half is.
53
So
and Kamala
Harris is ahead there
45.
in County, in Georgia.
But it's so strange
but
that
maybe the
it's
next
very
half of
close
those has
on
to be three.
all the
She is
other
71.1%
other
right now. Just for
cities,
comparison,
but in
2020 Fulton County,
Allegheny it's 72.
just for comparison,
Like here also, here is
Biden had 72%
Philadelphia,
in Fulton County in
87.
2021. She right now has 71%,
65
behind
and
Biden,
Bush.
but who knows what the rest of the vote's going to look like there. Greene County, Georgia. It's almost all in. Trump has 64.2%.
Strange.
In 2020, he had 62.8%. Another smaller county where he outpaces what he did.
It's
Oconee County,
very
Georgia,
strange.
outside of Athens. 92% of the votes counted. Trump has 66.8%. In 2020, he had 65.9%. Again, another county like that, smaller county, where he is about 1% better than he did in 2020. Jackson County, Georgia. 92% of the vote counted. 78.1% for Trump. He had 78.3% in 2020. Clayton County, Georgia.
I'm going
70%
to
of the vote in, but I don't
change
know
my
what that
stream
30%
to
outstanding is.
just chatting.
85.3% Harris.
But I need to
Back
start
in
and stop
2020,
the
it
stream
was
then.
84.9% Biden.
Yeah. Going to restart the stream.
Macon County, Georgia. 60% of the votes in. Harris, 52.5%. Biden had 61.3%. I don't know that...